All right, so far so good in our program or in our course under purchasing and materials management. We have looked at a little bit of purchasing, and under purchasing, we have already defined what purchasing is or what we mean by purchasing. Then we have also looked at what we mean by purchase management. Okay, so we have defined it, what we mean by purchase, and also what we mean by purchase management. Apart from that, we have also looked at the importance of purchasing in an organization that you are working for, that will help you under implementation of given projects. And then we have under the same subheading of importance of purchasing, we have looked at two general importances. Which one has to do with being able to come up with cost-effective purchases, and the other one being able to come up with good strategic purchases. Okay, and then apart from that, we have also looked at the importance of purchasing on two different levels. The first one is on a top management perspective, then the second one is on a functional management perspective. Then apart from that, we have also looked at the purchasing activities that are usually involved, or the two categories of purchasing activities which are involved under purchasing. So these two different categories of purchasing activity is simply the first one, individual, tactical purchasing, then the second one is strategic purchasing. And then we have also looked at the types of purchasing that exists under the purchasing arm. So under the types of purchasing, we have looked at two categories or types, which are the organizational and also individual purchasing. And I remember we looked at this in our previous class, and we ended on the purchasing cycle. So now we are going to pick it up from there, and we are going to look at the characteristics that a purchasing manager is supposed to possess. All right, so for a purchasing manager, for us to be able to have a proper, effective, and efficient purchasing manager, this purchasing manager is supposed to possess certain traits and also characteristics. So among the traits or characteristics that a purchasing manager is supposed to possess, the first one includes interpersonal skills. So the purchase manager must have good communication skills. There are many aspects of interpersonal communication, such as handling suppliers, respect of other opinion, and so on and so forth. He or she must be efficient in the same. All right, so the first trait or characteristics that we are looking at is simply the trait of interpersonal skills. So as a person or as a manager in charge of conducting purchases for your organization or for a given project, it is very vital that you know how to communicate or how to have good communications with different people. This way you'll be able to properly communicate with your suppliers, okay, or with different suppliers, and it will give you a competitive advantage or an advantage to be able to buy or purchase resources or products at competitive prices. So having good communication skills might mean, for example, respecting other people's opinions, and also being able to view things from different sides of a coin, trying to put yourself in other people's shoes so that you can understand from which angle they are coming from as you are communicating over a given resource or products that you want to purchase or procure. So it is important that you develop or possess good interpersonal skills. Then the other one is, as a purchasing manager, it is important that you also get to develop or possess analytical decision skills. Okay, so making purchases, or the purchasing manager may face many problems in his or her job, like placing orders, selection of best supplier, to maintain a healthy relationship with supplier, and purchase right materials in the right quantity at the right time, and so on and so forth. So a good purchase manager must have analytical decision making. Alright, so as a purchasing manager who is in charge of conducting procurement or purchases of resources, it is very important that you are able to have good analytical skills. Okay, that way it will help you to become more decisive. If you remember, under the different purchasing activities, we have got what is known as tactical and this strategic purchasing. So under tactical, we said this is where you get to make decisions to ensure that there is a continuous flow of resources that are required for continuous operation or production. Okay, so if you are not very decisive, okay, you might end up in a situation where you begin to delay. Okay, you begin to delay in making purchasing decisions or making of purchasing orders, which might end up disturbing the continuous flow of resources or materials required for a continuous operation or production of your given organization. That way, you might end up even disturbing your organization, and if things turn out for the worst, might even end up shutting down that given organization. So it is very important that you are decisive, and to be decisive, you must have good analytical skills. All right. Then the other one is a purchasing manager should be someone who is loyal or has got some form of loyalty to the organization. Why? The purchasing manager is involved in large activities of purchasing materials, consistently involving very large financial deals. So he has to be loyal to the organization, and he has to prove his loyalty from time to time. So as a purchasing manager, especially if you are working in a very big or large organization, you will inevitably be involved in making deals or purchasing deals that involve large sums of money. And because of this, you might be tempted to maybe make some shortcuts so that you can be able to get some money. Okay, or maybe you might be tempted by other people that would want to have a share of that money by um, involving you in some form of corruption. Okay, therefore, to avoid this, as a purchasing manager, you must have some form of loyalty, or you are supposed to be loyal to your organization. The problem with making shortcuts is that you might end up purchasing materials that are of low quality. And then once you purchase materials that are of low quality than what is required, then it will affect the production of the organization, or even the operation of your organization. Instead of your organization being able to produce good quality products, because of you have compromised on the resources required to produce, it will mean that even your organization will be able to produce products or services that are compromised. So that's just one of the disadvantages or the effects. Therefore, it is very important that as a purchasing manager, you are loyal to your given organization. Okay, so another important trait and characteristic that a purchasing manager is supposed to possess is simply computer literacy. So when we talk about or when we look at the current modern world that we are living in, we are living in a digital or computerized society. Okay, we are no longer living in a world in the old traditional world where people didn't use computers but solely depended on things like pen, papers, and books. As we progress, we keep on using the computer more and more in our daily lives, including in our work spaces. Therefore, as a purchasing manager, it is very important that you develop good computer literacy skills so that you can be able to use the computer in able to implement purchasing duties in your given organization. The good thing about computers is that it is efficient, okay? It helps you become efficient at doing your work since a computer is a machine that does not make errors like human beings. As human beings, sometimes because you are tired, you can end up making errors. Maybe let's say when you're calculating numbers and so on and so forth. However, with a computer, it cannot make such errors. So not having computer literacy skills will enable you to become work efficient. And as such, given also the current digital environment, it is very important and vital that you develop these computer literacy skills as a purchasing manager. Another characteristic or trait that you are supposed to possess is the trait or characteristics of technical skills. So depending on the organization that you are working for or the project that you are working on, okay, it is very important that you have some skills about the technicality of the process involved in delivering or operating or production of goods and services that are being offered by a given organization or project. So nowadays in production, a very highly sophisticated technology is used. Purchase manager must have technical understanding of the business. The purchase manager has enough technical background to understand the production process, the supplier's process, and scheduling system in order to make improvements. Okay, so by having these technical skills, it will ensure or help you as a project manager to keep making improvements or adjustments where necessary in the production or delivery of products and services. So it is important, whatever it is that you are involved in, ensure that you also have got the technical knowledge about the process that is being implemented or used in the delivery or production of goods and services. Another trait or characteristic is simply having the ability to make decisions. Okay, so this one is related to that other one where we talked about analysis or being able to analyze. So analytical skills help you to make proper decisions. But apart from having analytical skills, that enables you to make proper or tactical or strategic decisions. You must also have the ability to make decisions. So the purchasing manager has to take quick decisions in line with procurement strategy of organization vis-a-vis liaison with other departments. Or in short, as you are making these decisions, you must also you must also be in line with the other departments. He or she has to take decisions with quality, market, economic, social, and political environment and issues taken into account. All right, so you must be able to have the ability, apart from assessing or properly analyzing, okay, the best decision to make, you must also have the ability to quickly make decisions as a purchasing manager. That way, you'll be able to, like we said previously, be able to make strategic decisions that will ensure that there is a continuous operation or production of goods and services in your given organization. However, you should also ensure that as you are making decisions, your decision has to take into account the political environment, the economic situation, the market, social, and also the quality that is required based on the strategy that is put in place by the organization with in conjunction with other departments in your given organization. So there are various departments in your organization, such as maybe let's say the marketing department, the finance department, that will be involved, okay, in coming up with the strategy. So the finance department, they will look at the finances that they currently have, and from those finances, they will be able to know which strategic decisions will be applicable. Okay, then you also have the marketing department that will know the right and the proper marketing strategy that will be required for your given project that you're trying to implement as an organization. Apart from that, you have maybe other departments that will try to assess the economic status, the social, and also the political status in your given area or country. So that as they make these strategies, the strategies will be able to help you uh, make decisions, okay, that will be effective and work out given the current status politically, economically in the market, and will enable you to produce good quality products and services. All right. Then the other characteristic is that as a purchasing manager, you should be able to be innovative. So innovation is very necessary for survival in the market in present competitive market conditions. So a purchase manager should take innovative decisions related to purchase techniques, maintaining quality, inventory stock, inventory control, reordering level, and the order processing. All right, so as a purchasing manager, you should be creative or innovative. Why? Because we live in a very competitive market place or condition. And if you're not being innovative, you're not coming up with new ideas, new strategies, new techniques, new ways of being able to perform your job, you might be overtaken by other organizations that are in competition with your organizations that are advancing at a quicker pace in terms of ways and channels of delivering or conducting work under the purchasing arm or department. So it is important that you are up to date and you're always following what's going on within your industry, so that you can also be able to come up with the new advanced techniques and ways of delivering your job and services. All right, then last but not the least is that as a purchasing manager, since you'll be dealing with the suppliers and you'll be involved in buying of products and services. Of course, you would want to buy, or as a purchasing manager, you should buy the best quality that is available and also enough quantity of resources. Now, to be able to do that, it will involve or it will require that you have good skills in terms of negotiating of prices, so that you can be able to purchase or procure goods at the best price. If anything, if you want to reduce the cost, then you must be able to be convincing enough to the suppliers as to why they should be able to reduce the cost of the resources that you want to buy from them. So all in all, it is very vital and important that as a purchasing manager, you possess the traits of bargaining power so that you can be able to properly negotiate with various suppliers and be able to buy materials or resources required for your organizations at the best price possible. So this is where we'll end for our class today. And as you can see in our module, next time when we meet, we shall be starting with the materials management, as we have already done purchasing and purchasing management. Okay, so we have looked at purchasing and purchasing management. We have looked at the importance of purchasing, the purchasing activities that are involved, types of purchasing, the purchasing cycle, and also the traits and characteristics of a purchasing manager. When we meet next time, we shall begin with the materials management.